Bismillah. Middle Test of English. Lecture Mr. Ahmad Nurun SHMH. Name Amalia Syahida. Major Islamic Education or PI. Script Narrative Text. Narrative text. The definition, purpose, generic, structures, andexample of narrative text. A. The definition of narrative text. Narrative text is story with complication or problematic event, and it tries to find the resolution to solve the problems. An important part of narrative text is the narrative mode, the set of methods used to communicate the narrative through a process narration. B. The purpose of narrative text. The purpose of narrative text is to amuse or to entertain the reader with a story. C. Generic structures of narrative text. 1. Orientation. Set the scenes, where and when the story happened, and introduce the participants of the story. Who and what is involved in the story. 2. Complication. Tells the beginning of the problem which leads to crisis or climax of the main participants. 3. Resolution. The crisis is resolved either in a happy ending or in a sad ending. 4. Reorientation or coda. This is a closing remark to story and it optional. It consists of moral lesson, advice or teaching from the writer. The example of narrative text. This is very not very but long story. The ugly duckling. One of time of mother duck sat on her eggs. She felt tired of sitting on them. She just wished the eggs would break out. Several days later, she got her wish. The eggs cracked and some queer little ducklings appeared. Peep, peep, peep. The little ducklings cried, quack, quack, quack. Their mother grinned in return. However, the larger egg had not cracked. The mother duck sat on it for several days. Finally, it cracked and a huge, ugly duckling waddled out. The mother duck looked at him in surprise. He was so big and very gray. He didn't look like the others at all. He was like a turkey. When the mother duck brought the children to pond of their first swimming lesson, the hungry duckling splashed and paddled about just as nicely as the other ducklings did. "That's it now, a turkey checks. He's my very own son and quite handsome," the mother said proudly. However, the other animals did agree. They hissed and made fun of him day by day. Even his own sister and brothers were very unkind. "You are ugly," they quaked. The little poor duckling was very unhappy. "I wish I looked like them. He talked to himself. One day the ugly duckling ran away and hid in the basness. The sad ugly lived alone through the cold and snowy winter. Finally, these fine flowers began to while he was swimming in the pond. He saw 3 large white swans swimming toward him. "Oh dear, these beautiful birds will look and pick me too," he said to himself. The ones did not attack him. Instead, they swam around him and stroked him with their bills. As the ugly duckling bit his neck to speak to them, he saw reflection in the water. He could not believe his eye. "I am not ugly duckling, but I am beautiful swam," he exclaimed. He was very happy from the day on. He swam and played with his new friends, and was happier than he had never been. This is example of narrative text, the story of the ugly duckling. Thank you.